All right. Randy, I'm not sure if you noticed, but we had a production and delivery report
Oh,
yesterday.
did we?
Yeah. Um, and by the way, some people want me to take you to task on your trading activity. I won't do that. I think that you have covered that yourself very nicely.
Okay, all right.
Okay. But, you know, there were some comments about, my boy Randy, that I should, you know, put I should. Yeah, whatever. We'll let that sit. I think that you've probably eaten enough crow and discussed that enough. I won't put any more pressure on you.
Well, it
Yeah,
was a fun experience for the last couple of days, but
yeah.
I'll just leave it at I'm not a traitor. I am a trader, or I was at least for 2 days.
The financial markets always teach us lessons, and some of them are
Yeah,
more painful than others.
some are.
Yeah. Anyway, we now have production of Teslas have crossed over 8 million vehicles.
Yeah,
Pretty nice milestone,
that's true.
right? And we'll be at 10 million before you know it. But from a delivery perspective, we're just shy of 8 million. And I ran some quick calculations. If Tesla delivers, let's say 400,000 vehicles this quarter, it's 4,444 a day. We would get to 8 million by July 8th.
I see. Okay.
But given the production shutdown,
Oh,
Texas, given, a lot of vehicles are put on ships in the beginning of the quarter,
right.
it's not an even number that's delivered every day.
Hmm.
So my best guess is probably mid-July at the earliest, and maybe towards the latter half of July before we get the 8 million announcement.
Okay. All right.
Okay? And we'll see if they actually tell us who that person is. That would be kind of cool.
Yeah, that would be.
And maybe if we're lucky, the vehicle actually drives itself to that person. That would be even more fun for the second time. And then another thing that some of us care about is energy.
Right.
And a lot of people sort of remarked that the second quarter energy this year really didn't grow much versus second quarter last year.
Yeah.
We had 9.6 gigawatt hours of energy deployed
Yep.
versus 9.4 in the second quarter of 2024.
Hmm.
And so a lot of people say, well, that's disappointing. Well, I mean, look how much of an increase this was. This was a more
Right.
than 100% quarter
Right.
to quarter gain. This was a breakout quarter.
Hmm.
So we know the energy business is lumpy for all kinds of different reasons.
Yep.
And so the fact that this, wasn't that much higher doesn't really bother me. It probably means we're going to get a very strong Q3 and Q4.
I would think so.
And I think, as you pointed out in your show this morning, it probably means that there's not much in the way of Chinese, the Shanghai mega factory numbers in these numbers yet.
Right. Right. Yeah.
Okay. So,
And I said I misspoke yesterday, so I should acknowledge that. Yesterday I said that it was double last year's first half, but in fact it's more like a 60%, 50, 60% increase over the first half. But that's not bad for the first half.
yeah, I like to look at it on a trailing 12-month period.
Oh, okay.
And that kind of gets out some of the lumpiness that you have quarter to quarter.
Hmm.
And I think, if I'm not mistaken, I think it was like 84% year-over-year growth.
Okay.
So pretty healthy.
Right.
Now, had been growing faster than that, but again, that's just a lumpiness in the business.
Right.
So even smoothing it out over rolling 12-month periods doesn't get all the lumpiness out.
Yeah. I mean, at this point, it wouldn't be shocking to see next quarter at 15.
Yeah.
We also had an increase in production in the power walls. So
Yeah.
it won't contribute huge, but it will contribute.
It's interesting, isn't it? Because the capacity of Lathrop is supposed to be 40 gigawatt hours.
Right.
The capacity of Shanghai is supposed to be 40, so there's 80. And then Powerwall is another 10 to 15,
Yeah.
right? So it's interesting because the total capacity, let's call it 90,
Right.
okay, in any given year, the cumulative storage deployed is not yet at 90.
Oh, interesting.
And yet we now have capacity that's in that
In
in
that
that
range
range.
for 90 a year. Yeah.
Right. Now, the other interesting thing is we just crossed 80 gigawatt hours deployed.
Hmm.
Okay. And we were at 40 in sort of Q2 last year.
Mm-hmm.
So half of the total storage deployed has happened in the last 12 months.
Right.
So you tell me the business is not growing. It's growing rapidly and will continue to grow as they're adding more capacity. They're building another megapack factory outside of Houston.
Right.
Right. So
I don't
by
know.
the way, Randy, they announced that they're selling Powerwalls now in Ireland.
Oh, Powerwall's in Ireland. Look at that.
And my joke with that was that the Irish can now drink cold beer. And somebody from Ireland had a good retort and said, well, we don't need to chill our beer. We actually have beer that tastes good,
I
unlike the
see.
stuff we have in the United States.
Pretty good. Pretty good.
Fair
Well,
comment.
I don't know. Maybe you have a slide to cover this later, but Elon said something about a gigafactory to make solar panels.
It's coming. You're getting ahead of me.
Oh,
Yeah.
I am. Okay. I won't. I'll shut up.
No, Randy, every thought that you have is in these charts. That's a scary thought, isn't it?
Yes.